And we're recording here. Thank you all again for stopping by and joining, and welcome to those who might be joining on Instagram. I see a couple of folks are joining. Yay. Glad that you're here. Let's get started with our reflection. Again, this is the fourth Sunday of Advent. We've already been talking about that a little bit on Zoom to catch the rest of the group up. We've been reflecting on where we've noticed hope. And we've had some beautiful conversations already about that. And now I'm going to help us settle into our bodies a little bit more, maybe settle. We've been talking and thinking a lot. So let's settle into our bodies. And I'm going to do a fan favorite, which is doing the little bit of a body tapping to warm us in. So again, just make really gentle fists and start tapping along your body. And thanks for those folks who are joining on Instagram. I see you. I can't quite, on Instagram, can't quite read the names from the distance that the camera's at, but I see you and I'm glad you're with me. So tap, again, using your hands, doing a little tapping along your body. This is to help us ground in and feel into our bodies. You don't need to tap really hard, but you might want to feel it just so you can kind of feel a vibration through the body, kind of through muscle to bone. And then letting that tapping subside, pausing, maybe closing your eyes and feeling in and noticing what comes up. You might feel kind of a shimmering, a kind of vibration after that tapping. And next, I invite you to bring your hands into your lap and begin to kind of roll your spine and then open up your heart. You can do this along with your breath. So inhaling, kind of opening up. These are sort of mini cat-cows for those of you who do some yoga. Inhale, opening up the heart, and then exhaling, kind of rounding the spine. Just there in your seat anyway. Feeling free to maybe move side to side if that's what your body is calling for, if that feels good. I'm not into particularly rigid movement these days, or things have to be a certain way. Do whatever your body is calling for in this moment. Letting those cat-cows maybe subside, or whatever movement you had chosen. Bringing the hands to the lap, maybe closing the eyes again. Pausing and feeling in, noticing maybe what vibration is moving up and down the spine with that movement. Maybe there's some other sensation entirely in your body that is grabbing your attention. And then next, as you have space, inhaling your arms up to the sides and interlacing your fingers. Your index finger will point toward the ceiling, pointing up. Really giving your lungs the space they need to get a full breath here. You might even take a sip, like you're sipping through a straw at the top of the inhale, getting a little more air in. And then when that's complete, exhale and really swimming your hands down, arms and hands down slowly, bringing the palms of your hands into the tops of your thighs and pressing. Really help using that pressure to round the spine. And breathe out all of the stale air from your lungs. When that's complete, releasing, letting the palms of your hands rest in your lap. They can be palms up or down, either one. Experiment maybe with what kind of feels, the energy of which feels better to you. And then next, inhaling the arms up again. You don't have to interlace if you don't want to, though you can. And then exhale, twisting to the right. The right hand goes behind you. It might grab the back of the chair if you're in a chair. It might rest by your side, or maybe get planted on the ground or the couch or whatever's beside you. Making an inhale and lengthening the spine. And then exhale, retaining that length while you even while you feel the compression of the exhale. And then on the next inhale, releasing the twist, coming back to center, arms overhead, and then exhale, twisting to the opposite side, to the left. Again, the left hand is behind you, maybe using the back of the chair or the floor beside you, whatever surface is near you. Again, inhaling, really feeling into the length of your spine. And then on the exhale, you feel the slight compression, but you don't have to lose all that length of the spine. Taking one more inhale for length. Exhale, maybe feeling a little bit more into the twist with the strength of the belly. And then inhaling, bringing the arms up overhead, exhaling them down. And one more time, inhaling them up, this time doing another one of those mountain breaths, interlacing fingers, really getting the fullness of the breath here. And then exhale, slowly swimming the arms down by the side, using the palms to press into the tops of your thighs. Exhale. Fully exhale, getting all the stale air out of the body. You might do an open-mouthed sigh. And then when that's complete, inhaling, taking 2 rounds of natural breath with your palms resting in your lap, either up or down, whichever is more comfortable. And next, taking an inhale, on the next inhale, maybe opening your arms out to the sides, really letting your heart open. Tonight, we're exploring how hope and love interweave. So we're opening the heart. And then exhale, folding the arms over, kind of giving yourself a hug. Really feeling that sort of gentle, or maybe not so gentle if that feels better to you, like a good squeeze. Even at this point, we may be a little missing hugs from people at this point in the pandemic, even if we've been hugging a little bit. And then inhaling, open it up. Heart open. You might even drop your head back just a little if that feels good to you. And then exhale. Again, crossing the arms over your chest and giving yourself like a nice soothing hug. Feels kind of calming to me. I don't know about you. And then one more time, inhale, opening up the chest, letting your arms open up, maybe your head fall back, your heart point toward the ceiling. And then exhale, reverse the cross of your arms, giving yourself another hug. Oh, that nice gentle pressure. And then when that is feeling ready to subside, bringing your arms back down to your lap, maybe closing your eyes or softening your gaze. Next, we're going to be reading now that we've opened ourselves up a little bit, hopefully, I'm going to read for you our passage tonight, which is from the Gospel of Luke. And I would invite you during the reading of this passage to close your eyes, if you can, if that's comfortable, and really drink in the words and phrases that you hear. And if there is a particular word or phrase, or maybe there's more than one, maybe there's a word or a phrase or multiple that you want to carry with you into our time of meditation. that we will do a little bit later. And this is the sacred reading from this fourth Sunday of Advent. And in this passage, I'm doing a shorter version of it, but it's the Magnificat. It's Mary's rejoicing when she goes to see her cousin Elizabeth, who in her old age has become pregnant. Mary, a young woman, is also pregnant. And they give glory and praise to God in the miracles that are their pregnancies. And Mary said, "My soul magnifies the Lord, and my spirit rejoices in God, my Savior. For God has looked with favor on the lowliness of God's servant. Surely from now on, all generations will call me blessed, for the Mighty One has done great things for me, and holy is God's name. God's mercy is for those who fear from generation to generation. God has shown strength with God's arm. God has scattered the proud in the thoughts of their hearts. God has brought down the powerful from their thrones and lifted up the lowly. God has filled the hungry with good things and sent the rich away empty. He has helped his servant Israel in remembrance of God's mercy, according to the promise he made to our ancestors, to Abraham, and to his descendants forever." So I invite you, if it's helpful, maybe you want to jot down a root word or a phrase from that stuck out to you. One that maybe you want to, and maybe you just want to hold it in your heart and your mind for now, and carrying it into our time of meditation tonight. So as you recall that word or phrase that might be simmering, and I'll ask for those words or phrases on our Zoom call anyway, a little bit later, if you're feeling compelled to share. But for now, we're going to settle into a posture of meditation. Now that may be seated. You might stay in a chair or in whatever seated position, or on the floor if that's comfortable for you. If you're seated, I would suggest, a long, tall spine. You might prop yourself up, your hips up a little bit higher so that your hips are a little higher than your knees in whatever position that you're in. Or if you'd prefer to recline, this is actually a meditation that works very well. In a reclining position, I would suggest a little prop behind the head. If you're whether you're on a couch or in a chair, reclining chairs actually work really well for this. You might pop your knees up. If you're not in a reclining chair, simply put a pillow or a rolled blanket underneath your knees, maybe a little extra something behind the head. Get cozy and settle in for our practice, which will be a practice of Metta, which is a Buddhist practice of loving kindness, of sending loving kindness. And we will be going through some layers of that Metta practice. So as you get settled in, I invite you to feel into those points of contact between your body and the supports underneath you. Maybe notice the sensation of air or fabric touching the skin. You may begin to notice or tune in to your breath, to the body being breathed. You may feel the rise and fall of the belly, chest, and rib cage. You may notice the touch of air in the nostrils, cooler on the way in, warmer on the way out. And as we settle in for this metta practice, this loving kindness meditation practice, I invite you to set an intention. It might be an intention that comes to you or came to you from our earlier practice or the reading that we just did. It may simply be the intention we've set for this entire these practices along the entire week, the entire month, which has been simply about noticing hope. You might set your intention to notice hope in this practice. I invite you, as it's comfortable, to tune into the movement of your breath. You may notice physical sensations of the breath. And after a moment, you may begin to notice some other more energetic qualities to the breath. There may be a sense of warmth. There may be a sense of sort of a tingling sensation. You may start directing the breath right to the center of the heart. Right, roughly to that space around the sternum. You may begin to see in your mind's eye, maybe the sense that there is a glowing in your chest from this practice. And that warmth, that glow may begin to expand to the rest of your torso, to your hips, your shoulders, arms, hands, and fingers, into the lower body, the hips, pelvis, lower and upper legs, ankles, and feet, all the way to the tips of your toes. That glowing may be extending. Moving finally up into the neck and the head. Perhaps even extending beyond the skin boundaries. Feeling into this the sensation of warmth, this heart-centered breath. Sending first this blessing, this prayer of loving kindness, sending it to yourself. And then repeating these phrases after me. You can do it silently to yourself or out loud, whatever is calling to you today. May I be joyful. May I be healthy. May I be content. And may I be filled with loving kindness. And then continuing with this heart-centered energy radiating through the body. Feeling free to continue sending this energy to yourself. You may be the one who needs it most tonight, and that's okay. It's actually more than okay. It's a very good choice. Or if you would like, imagine someone in your mind's eye who is someone you love and care about who could use a little extra loving kindness. And perhaps imagine extending that energy of love and light and kindness out beyond the skin boundaries and sending it to them. And then again, silently or out loud, whatever you're comfortable with, repeating after me. May they be joyful. May they be healthy. May they be peaceful. May they be filled with loving kindness. Then feeling free to stay with either of these two parts of the metta practice. Or if you'd like to move on, imagine someone who, or picture someone who you have pretty neutral feelings about. Now, this might be someone with whom you have sort of casual contact with. Maybe someone you don't know particularly well, but who you can imagine and have some sense of who they are. This might be someone who checks out your groceries. Might be your mail carrier. Might be someone who does deliveries. Someone else you casually know. And again, using this loving kindness energy, sending it out from your heart, out beyond your body to this person. May they be joyful. May they be healthy. May they be content. And may they be filled with loving kindness. And then beginning to slowly release, or rather imagining again, returning to any of the previous stages of this practice, if you would like, or maybe bring into your mind's eye someone or a group of people even that you feel challenged by. Maybe someone with whom you struggle. It may be someone with whom you're even in conflict with. And as you are able, sending them this energy, this loving kindness energy from the center of your heart. May they be joyful. May they be healthy. May they be content. May they be filled with love and kindness. And then again, feeling free to continue to contain this energy to your own body, if that's really what your body is calling for. Or if you would like to begin sending out beyond your skin boundary. Maybe fueled or buoyed by some of the words of our sacred reading earlier today. Sending out that energy, that mercy that endures, that strength. The ability to meet needs, to feed the hungry, to lay down the powerful, to raise up the servants. Sending out this energy of love and kindness out into the world, out maybe into the room that you're in, to the building you're in. Perhaps expanding beyond that into the neighborhood, the waves of love moving like the movement of a river or the waves of an ocean. Flowing out beyond your own neighborhood or town and city even. Maybe even touching the state, the world, the country, the world, as far as you can think this loving kindness, as far as the loving kindness can expand, and it can expand anywhere. Perhaps this is an invitation to simply feel connected to it, connected to that love that is always present, that endures forever. That love that evokes, that love that is evoked and is given, that gives favor to the lowly. The love that causes your spirit to rejoice. That love that fills even the hungry and the thirsty. That love that extends mercy even to those with whom we don't want to get along. This love that helps to spark hope. And then slowly, if that heart energy had expanded beyond your skin boundary, maybe beginning very gently to roll it back toward your body. Be coming back into your city or town, back into your neighborhood, back into your building, back to your room, back into your body. But maybe retaining for just one more moment this sense of expansion, this sense of connectedness to the greater awareness, the greater consciousness. The universe, to God, whatever name you give it. That connection, that beautiful connection that lies just within you and around you. Taking one last or two, maybe two more rounds of breath, coming back into your heart. And maybe coming back into your body by wiggling fingers or toes. Maybe turning your head a little bit side to side. And eventually pushing yourself back up to a seated position if you weren't already. And I realized partway through the meditation that I had forgotten to invite you to light your candles. So if you have those handy, feel free to light them. I lit them during to help fuel our loving kindness meditation. I lit those candles somewhere in the midst of our practice. And I want to thank you all for, I'm going to close out the recordings here in just a moment and then let those of us on Zoom continue to chat a little bit. But I want to thank those who have been joining us via Instagram or via those of you on Zoom. We're going to keep chatting here for a few moments. And I hope this helped to enrich your experience of this preparation time, this time in practice for Advent. Or in Advent, this time of practicing in hope, in love, in peace, in joy for Christmas and the miracle of Christmas. So I want to thank you. I'm going to turn